morning, Family First Life. My name is Danielle Byrne. I am the Senior Vice President of Family First Life Legacy, and I'm going to jump right into it this morning. Thanks for having me on. I have been dialing for a long time, so I feel like I have a lot to offer in the realm of phone objections, lead types, and being able to book an appointment regardless of the age of the lead and regardless of the type of the lead. So I think what's most important first and foremost is to talk about how rare it is that we receive a lead. We take for granted at Family First Life that we have the ability to go onto a CRM and just purchase leads at whim. And I don't think we realize exactly how rare it is for somebody to fill out one of these forms, okay? It is less than 1% of a return when somebody actually looks at one of these forms and thinks enough of it to fill it in and to walk out to their mailbox, put it in the mailbox, and mail it back to us. Or even an internet lead. Now, because of technology and the way things go these days, it seems so easy that we just get these internet leads, but I don't think we really have any idea how many people actually have to see that advertisement for somebody to follow through with and put their name and their contact information in and then click submit on something. So I think it's important for us first to understand, before we even start dialing, the psychology of the consumer before we start to dial, and then the psychology that we need to have before we pick up the phone and dial. It is absolutely critical that you understand that these people have asked you for help. They've already asked for help. We need to pick up the phone and find a good time where we can go over and get them help. That is it. Nothing good happens on the phone other than setting the appointment. I personally do not ask health questions on the phone. If your upline tells you to do something different, then by all means do something different. But I don't ask health questions on the phone because frankly, I don't care. I just want to book the appointment. So, that being said, remember, less than 1% return for all leads. If you get over 1% return, that's just a fluke. It's just a high return. So remember, for someone to fill this out and send it back into the office, or send it back into your vendor, or fill it out and click submit online, or anything, the person is already interested. Your job on the phone is to capture that moment when they were interested, capitalize on that moment, and then create the desire and the effectiveness in there to book that appointment, okay? So that is first and foremost, okay? These people have asked for help and we need to help them. Second, your tone on the phone and the posture with which you carry yourself on the phone is more important than what you say. You could have every single word verbatim like I say it, and it won't be as effective if you don't say it the way I say it, okay? So that's very important. I do consider myself a very effective dialer, and I have a good sit ratio, so I do feel like I can add a lot of value here with you guys and hopefully get you booking more appointments. You could say that it's also important to really internalize the fact that the people we are calling are constantly being bombarded by telemarketers and by other forms of people trying to get their business, and you have to remember that. You have to remember that when they pick up the phone, that's your opportunity to strike. If you do not get them at that moment, the chances of you getting them back on the phone are very, very rare. So I'm going to use this final expense mailer first and just go through what I would say on a regular final expense mailer. I am not going to go down the objections yet, because if your tone and your posture is correct, you shouldn't be getting objections. But if you do get them, you're going to know how to handle them today. So this lady's name is Jeannie, last name Brooks, okay? So her husband's name here is John. So I'm just taking a glance at that and I'm looking, okay? And I can see already that they're 67 and 59, and I know that I should be able to make an appointment during the day with them, so I'm going to try and fit them during the day on my schedule. Okay, so when they answer the phone, it is extremely important that when they answer the phone, if it's a female, I'm just going to assume that it's Jeannie. If it's a male, I'm going to assume that it's John. Those are fair assumptions. I don't know you, but chances are you don't have some other male or female answering your phone. Okay, so female answers the phone, I'm very, very confident in the way that I'm going to sound. I already know her. Jeannie? Yeah, she's going to say yes. This is Danielle Byrne. Immediately I say, I'm getting back to you. Okay, so we want to take the guard down immediately and say, I'm getting back to you. That is so important because immediately you're differentiating yourself between the person who's trying to get their business as a telemarketer, somebody they didn't ask for help on, and then somebody who did ask for your help. Okay, so Jeannie, yes, this is Danielle Byrne. I'm getting back to you about the card, okay, final expense. You want to remember that seniors are very particular about their details and the things that they have done, okay? They usually don't forget if they've put in a request of some kind or filled out a form and then sent it back in. They don't forget. So I'm getting back to you about the card you filled out and sent back into my office for the information on the state-regulated final expense plan. That is what I say. Okay? Remember, I sound like I know her. Jeannie, a lot of times, it's funny because I've been doing this a while. A lot of times some people will go, yeah, like I'm a friend, you know? So, Jeannie, yeah, this is Danielle Byrne. I'm getting back to you about the card that you filled out and sent back into my office about the state-regulated final expense plan. 9 times out of 10, if you've done that part correctly, they will go, oh, yeah. I don't care if they've done it a month ago, 3 months ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever it is, they should say, oh yeah. Okay, now again, this first one that I'm going through here is just somebody that's not giving me any objection. So, oh yeah, okay, I just need to, then I take control. I just need to verify the information that you wrote down. Now the psychology here is critical. You wrote down this information, I am the one getting you the information, okay? You wrote down this information. You mailed this card back to me. My job is real simple, okay? So, I just need to verify the information that you wrote down on this card. You put you were 67, then they'll go, yeah, and John is 59. Yes, that's correct. Your address is 123 Main Street, right there in Chesapeake, Virginia. Is that also correct? Yes. You want to get them saying yes and agreeing as much as possible on the phone so that when you tell them that you are coming by, that's a yes too. It's just the natural progression of things. That is a yes. Okay, so Jeannie, you're 67. Yes. John, you're 59. Yes. I've got you at 123 Main Street, right there in Chesapeake. Yes. Once you've got that agreement on board, then you are going to say, my job is real simple. That's me. That's what Danielle Byrne does, okay? My job is real simple. I always want them to know that my job is real simple. Just like getting the life insurance is real simple. Just like getting the annuity is real simple. Just like the Medicare coverage, it's real simple. My job is real simple. Okay. My job is real simple. I'm the representative that is responsible for getting you this information. They have me scheduled in your area on Tuesday. Are you still working or are you retired? Right there, I know what appointment slot to offer them. Oh, we're both still working. Oh, we're both retired. Take control of your schedule. You cannot be busier than the client. That's very important. Take control of your schedule. Or excuse me, the client can't be busier than you. That's what I'm trying to say. The client can't be busier than you. You need to take control of your schedule. So, if you say, for example, Jeannie, are you retired or still working? And she says, I'm retired, but John's still working. Okay, perfect. Listen, my job is real simple. I'm the one who's going to be bringing you this information. Is John usually home from work and settled between 5 and 6 or 6 and 7? I'm only giving her 2 choices of a time frame because she's going to pick one. I never, ever, ever, ever ask what time they are available, because that will cause a loss of control on the phone. You will absolutely lose control, and then you will not get the appointment. So, then I'm verifying what, and then she's picking what slot. Is John usually home between 5 and 6 or 6 and 7? She says between 6 and 7. I say, okay, perfect. Listen, they have me out in Chesapeake on Tuesday. I will be there between 6 and 7, and I will make sure that I get this information out to you. If I feel any hesitation in the appointment, then I will start to ask for identifiers for the appointment so that they can visualize me coming to the home. So for example, hey Jeannie, listen, and I'm always selling time on the phone. I am selling time. What do I mean by that? I am telling them that I don't have a lot of it, okay? Hey Jeannie, listen, I have to be in and out of about 15 families' homes that day. If you could just tell me, is there a color car in the driveway I can look for? I just need to make sure that I can get in and out as quick as possible. You do not want this appointment to sound like it's a big deal, because it's not, okay? You want Jeannie and John to know that you're coming over to the house, you're going to show them exactly what they qualify for, and you are not going to take forever. That is important when you are setting the appointment. Okay. Perfect. Yes, it's a blue Ford Focus. Okay, great. Yes, I'm going to be driving a black 4-door sedan. Okay. All right, perfect. So I'll see you between 6 and 7. And once again, my name is Danielle Byrne. I'm licensed by the state of Virginia, and I will be making sure I get this information out to you. Then they agree, and you hang up the phone. Okay. So that's my final expense script. Now, the common objections that you could get for a final expense script would be something like the following. Oh, I didn't fill anything out. Okay, so if somebody says that they didn't fill anything out, what I do then is I blow past it as though they've said something like the sky is blue. Okay, so I don't care what they say on the phone because I'm booking the appointment. It doesn't matter to me what they say. So, oh, I didn't fill anything out. So then I start to explain what it was that came in the mail so that I can solidify the fact that I already know that they filled something out. I'm not getting into a back and forth of, oh, you didn't fill anything out. I don't personally do that whole, I need to make sure that it was you for insurance fraud. I don't go down that road. If your manager tells you to go down that road, then by all means go down that road. I don't, because I'm not getting into a back and forth with somebody on the phone, because I will lose, and I know that, okay? So, for example, let's say that Jeannie says that she didn't fill anything out, okay? Jeannie, yes, hey, this is Danielle Byrne. I'm getting back to you about the card you filled out and sent back into my office for the state-regulated final expense plan. Oh, I didn't fill anything out. Okay, Jeannie, it's written in black pen here. At the top it says 2019 benefit information for Virginia citizens only. And the way you write your J is you have a really big hook on the bottom, and then you put your A, it was like a capital A. Is this ringing a bell at all, Jeannie? And then once I start to explain the way that it was written out to her, a lot of times they'll say something like, oh, I did do that. Okay, or they'll say, I mean, they normally don't continue to stick to their story once I've started talking about their handwriting. Okay, now there's other ways that you can handle this when it's a Facebook lead, or if it's an internet lead or something like that. But when it's a direct mail lead, I mean, you can really get them in the chokehold by just explaining what their handwriting looked out like. Or for example, are you sure? Because it was written in pink pen, Jeannie. I mean, I don't. You must have some pink pen at home. I mean, I got this back into my office. You mailed this back into my office. Okay, so either by rereading the card or stating what they wrote, you wrote, okay, you wrote John's middle initial was A, you wrote that he was 59, okay, and then I will, do some identifying information from the mailer. Now, sometimes they put one of those like sticky address labels on there, and so I'll be like, there's a cardinal on your address label, or something along those lines, and then they go, okay, yeah, I did do it, okay? So that's how I handle if they say they didn't fill anything out. Now, Just to be respectful of time, I'm going to also move on to that objection if, for example, it's a Facebook lead or if it's an internet lead, okay? So if it's a Facebook lead, I'm going to say there was an advertisement that popped up that was on Facebook, and it was for the state-regulated burial programs for Virginia, or it was for the state-regulated final expense plan for Virginia. You filled out that information, and you simply wanted the information on the programs that you qualify for. And then that'll like jog their memory, oh yeah, I did do that. I did do that. So a lot of times I'm just restating what they did, because their knee-jerk reaction sometimes could be that they didn't do it because they just don't want to engage with somebody that has called, because they still think that I might be a telemarketer because of my tonality or something that I said. So didn't fill anything out. It just doesn't stick with me. It doesn't land with me. It just means that I have to do a little bit more verifying on the phone. Okay. Let's see if we can group some of these together for sake of time. And I just want to repeat this again, because if you don't take anything away from this training today, I need you to understand the more information that you verify when you're on the phone with the lead, the more information that you verify that they did, the more credibility you have on the phone, okay? So, let's see here. We've got, didn't fill anything out. We've got, not interested. I mean, I can tell you I probably handle that the same exact way as I would handle didn't fill anything out. I mean, if I'm like Jeannie, and she says, yeah, I said, this is Danielle Byrne. I'm getting back to you about the card you filled out and sent back into my office. Chances are she's not going to say not interested. I just don't get that. I mean, I normally don't get people saying that they're not interested. It just doesn't happen. I will sometimes get, well, we already took care of that, especially if it's a Facebook lead. My answer to that always, no matter what, is perfect. That's the reason I'm calling. I'm glad that you already took care of it. I still do need to clear up my end of the file, so I'm just going to go ahead and verify the information that you wrote down here or that you filled in here, and then I just breeze through and continue with setting the appointment. How much does it cost? When somebody asks how much it costs, a lot of times I will shift into a third-party dialer. So how much does it cost? Listen, you know what? I'm not exactly sure about the costs associated with the program, but I know that Danielle can tell you all about that. I'm just actually the one who has her schedule and dispatches her out to a certain area for certain days of the week. So I will use that third-party dialing if somebody's asking me how much it costs. Why can't you just mail it? So a lot of times what I say, if it's somebody says, why can't you could just throw it in the mailbox, or why can't you just mail it? I'll say, Jeannie, this is a state, and my answer always goes back to the same simple thing. This is a state regulated program. So I do need to verify your identity and ask you a couple health questions. And once I do that, I can tell you exactly what you qualify for. So that is, you know, what I do when somebody says, why can't you just mail it? I just let them know that I can't mail it. Now, I don't know my schedule. Now, a lot of times when somebody says they don't know their schedule, that is just a bunch of baloney. What they normally mean is that they just kind of don't want you to come over. So I will say, and I will normally double book this appointment, but if someone says they don't know their schedule, I will say, well, listen, I say, what is the latest that you're typically home? Okay, I will say, what is the latest that you're typically home? They will answer me. They'll say something like 7 o'clock, and I'll say, listen, I don't have anything at 7. I'm always taking away on the phone, and I'm always selling time on the phone. I don't have anything at 7, but I do have a 7:30. So listen, on Tuesday night, I will be there about between 7:30 and 8. Okay, and please just make sure you're there. Now, depending on how they sound on the phone, sometimes I will double book that appointment just based on how standoffish they seem, because there are people that will lay down during the phone script and then they will just no-show you. Okay, and then last, I'm going to close with, I'm busy, can you call back, or I'm in a meeting, or I'm at work. First of all, why did you pick up the phone if you were doing any of those things anyway? And it's just that you want to get off the phone because it's me. Okay, so this is important. I will take a quick set over no appointment any day of the week. Okay, so it's important. If somebody says, I'm busy, can you call me back? I will agree with them immediately. Listen, I'm very busy too. And then I will jump right to the appointment setting. Listen, I'm busy too. I'm just getting back to you about that card you filled out. I just want to make sure that when I'm in the area tomorrow after 5, that you will be home to receive that information. And 9 times out of 10, they will agree with you quickly. And then you will be able to get into that appointment or to that home, at a later date. So hopefully that gives you guys a lot of information to go off of now. And of course, you guys can find me on Facebook and ask me questions. I'm not shy about helping anybody that asks. So, send me a Facebook message. But that is Danielle Byrne on dialing objections and phone script. And I'm here to help if you guys have any other questions. Thanks.